Hi there, beautiful souls. Thank you for watching and welcome. I'm Gabrielle, retired medium in Germany, and I like to share some of my otherworldly experiences and insights. So this one is about my conscious download in math. I've never been good in mathematics at school, and still I am not very good at that with numbers. I tend to mix up numbers and twist them or mix dates up and things like that. I'm more in the right brain, the intuitive female side. So the other side, the left brain, the male, the rational, the logic, I used that while growing up and in school, and I had to use it studying at the university, and the world seems to function only on that. And I always felt the other half is missing, so that's why I'm now dealing with the other half, the intuitive, the female. And I remember just, I think some years ago, I got a conscious so-called download in mathematics. And I was really astonished, it was baffling to me. I was sitting comfortably on my couch, just kind of doing nothing, and got a little bit into a meditative state, closing my eyes and pondering about whatever wasn't even important. And then suddenly, in front of my inner eye, there appeared something for me to watch as a witness. That's more or less the first step. If you get inner pictures or imagery, in the first part, you are more or less a witness. You are just observing and watching, and after that, you can make sense of it. And the second step is to enter these pictures of frequencies that are translated by our brain, our whole personality system, into messages of words or insights. And you can start interacting, asking questions and something like that. But at that point, I wasn't ready for interacting. I was just watching, observing, and I was the witness of this download in math. And what I saw in front of my inner eye was kind of a cloud, symbolically for the heaven or higher consciousness and the spirit world. And from out of this cloud came golden hands. That's what I like to call the hands of God, like the Sufi call in their tradition these forces coming from higher spiritual realms, the hands of God. And these hands showed me a circle. I just saw the outline of a circle that was kind of delivered by the golden hands from out of the cloud. And I looked at this circle and started wondering, yeah, what does this mean? And intuitively, I got, okay, the circle is symbolic for the start of life, as we know now in biology. Everything more or less in the material world, life forms start from an egg or from the cell, which is built by the DNA. And that's also kind of a round circle. But I only saw it two-dimensional. I only saw the outline. And I thought, okay, I get that. That's the sign, the circle of life. That's the life force. And as I know now, Mother Nature, why do we call it Mother? Because it's female, or Mother Earth is a female consciousness incarnated in this planet. Mother Nature does not make straight lines. That's one of the basic caveat of the archaeology. And it was man who started to build in straight lines and cubicle houses and things like that. Very early humans, and still some tribes nowadays, they build round houses. Isn't that interesting? So I thought by myself, okay, I get it, what the circle means. It's kind of the female power, the idea of the Egyptian tradition that even in the cosmos, life starts from the womb, more or less, as an egg, or as the circular shape and form of a cell. So after I got that, then suddenly the hands came down again, and they kind of tweaked and pushed a little bit on the circle, and suddenly it became an elliptical form, looking like our symbol in numbers for the zero. And I thought by myself, okay, get that. From the circle comes the zero, which is still with curved lines and nothing straight in there, representing the masculine, the rational, the logic, while the circle or the elliptic form represents the intuitive and the female force, as we live in a polar dual world. And the picture of the scale shows us there are these both two forces, the polar forces in our world, and only in the middle of the scale you can neither deny the one or the other. You can see they're both there, and it's about getting them into balance and not being tossed around like a ship on heavy ocean waves. We need this kind of Buddha's way of the middle, stay neutral and just observe and watch. And I thought by myself as well, okay, the zero is a very interesting concept, because in our way to deal with numbers and count and measure everything nowadays, the zero is the symbol for nothing. Or if I say it slowly, maybe you get another idea. It is the symbol for no thing. But it is still something, because it's a symbol depicting nothing or no thing. So that's kind of a shift in consciousness for me, as I try to imagine ancient people maybe being a bit more simple than we are. When you were a farmer or somebody in ancient times, you count what you have. You count, I have one cow, one goat, but you don't count what you don't have. You don't count, I have 0 cows, I have 0 goats, or something like that. So I pondered a little bit about the zero. And when I thought, okay, now I get an idea about the zero, opening up many paths to ponder on further, then the hands came down from the cloud again, and they just turned this image to the side. So what I could see now from the side was just this one straight line, because remember, I saw the circle and the zero linear, two-dimensional, and if you turn a two-dimensional form, then you only see the line it is making. And I thought, wow, that looks like the number 1, in very raw form, without the other straight lines sometimes forming. That's difficult because this video is mirroring my hands, and I have to find out how to show that. But you know what I mean. Normally we write the zero like that. But you can also write a zero in the kind of Roman Latin way, just like a straight line. And I thought, wow, that's interesting. So from the zero emerges or comes the 1. And then I suddenly saw 0 and 1 beside, and I thought, wow, that looks like binary code. So with these two numbers or symbols for forces in our whole universe, you can create all the numbers you need up to infinity, because there is only 1 to 9, and the 10 is already the combination of 1 and 0. So you're starting on the next level to count the tens and then the hundreds and thousands and so on. And I thought, wow, with only two numbers like 0 and 1, you can create everything? That's fantastic. If my math teachers would have taught me mathematics like that in school, I would have loved it. But the way I was taught math in school, I disliked it and I didn't get the whole thing. Maybe my teachers even did not think about math and numbers this kind of more philosophical way. And what I also find very interesting is, I told about that in other videos, that if we imagine the dimensions, so the first dimension would just be a dot, maybe on a piece of paper, you know. And the second dimension is the extension of the dot, forming a line. And if you ever looked at archaeological documentaries about the Mayans and their number system, you will see not only them, but many ancient cultures counted with dots and lines, and from there they developed their writing system. Isn't that interesting? And if we look at writing nowadays, I come from a bit of a different viewpoint, because I was a graphic designer before I became a medium and retired now. If I look at the dots and lines and the writings we have nowadays, that's very interesting, you know. The Chinese, they write from above to below. It is as if they are drawing from the higher to the lower spheres, meaning or consciousness or constructs, ideas that form words. And if you think of the Arabic way of writing, they are writing from right to left. So they are writing towards the heart. They are writing from outside to inside. Isn't that interesting? Kind of how the energy can be used. And more or less all the Western world is writing the Roman Latin form of writing. We write from left to right. So we are writing from the heart outwards to the outside, from the inside to the outside. And very interestingly, because I had quite a few incarnations, as I know now, in Asia, in India and Tibet, I always looked at these, to me, very strange seeming writings, the Sanskrit in India. That is one line, and from this line comes down a straight line, and then there are coming curves and dots. So the idea of curves, straight lines, and dots is still in this language. I find this very, very interesting, because it gives me a lot to ponder about just by looking at the forms and what they symbolically or in a philosophical way of looking at it demonstrate. So this is what I wanted to share with you now, my only conscious download in math that I ever got. The other ones are just ringing in the ear, left side or right side, and I understand now that these are files to be opened in the future when we will need them. And you don't have to worry about that, because I try to give a simple example. If I tell you right now, move your arm up, you just do it without interfering or questioning. Like if you're in a guided meditation and the person leading this meditation kind of commands you to go inside or feel or have a look or whatever, you just do it. And it's the head, the brain, that's always interfering. Nowadays, if I tell someone, raise your arm, please, they will ask me, why, what for, and why do you want me to do that? And so they create a lot of complicated distraction and questions that lead nowhere. It's about the experience. How does it feel to raise your arm? And how does it feel to act in the spiritual world? Because that's very different. And the currents or currency in our material 3D world is action. It goes from feeling to thought to action. So just knowing something will not help very much. Only feeling also will not help that much. You have to combine the scales of both, of mental activity and energy and emotional or vibrational frequency energy, of feeling, heart and thinking head in the middle, to be balanced out in even weight. And in our world nowadays, the head is very much in the highest position and overrides your feeling. That's why so many people have problems with their feelings, because we are taught wrongly to live only the way of the head and the mental energy and thinking and being rational, instead of combining it with our feelings and not being in fight with our feelings, because the head wants to be in control over the feelings, or the other possibility is that the feelings override the head, which is also not always very good to practice or live in your life. You need the balance. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. Thank you for watching. Blessings, love and light onto your path, beautiful souls. Bye.